Jason Mattera was 7 minutes into his speech yesterday to the 2010 CPAC conference when he raised his rallying cry, "We must be the generation that stands athwart history." As I recall, he was paraphrasing William F. Buckley, yelling, "Hey, jackass, get your government off my freedom." Right. Jason Mattera. Jason Mattera, Mattera.com. Am I pronouncing it right, Jason?
You got it, Tom. Yeah,
okay.
Thanks for having me on the program.
And you're welcome. Your new book, Obama Zombies, How the Liberal Machine Brainwashed My Generation. Brainwashed?
That's correct. Yeah.
How did the Obama machine brainwash your generation?
Well, Obama mania didn't happen in a vacuum, so I wanted to offer conservatives an investigative look into some of the behind-the-scenes tactics that Barack and his team Obama effectively employed, and that the GOP has had a disastrous outreach towards younger voters for a while now. And but this election showed that you can't take younger voters for granted. There were some states, North Carolina, Indiana, and Florida, that were won specifically because John McCain got walloped in the youthful category. And that's why I wanted to write the book, to give that behind-the-scenes look and hopefully jolt many of these Obama zombies from their brainless slumber.
Okay. Well, the Obama zombies, the believers in, I'm guessing what you would characterize as socialism?
Well, I think a lot of young people don't know. They got caught up with the cool campaign.
Mm-hmm. So they bought the brand. They didn't understand the politics behind it.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people did. And for instance, in chapter 3, I have what's called the Dave Matthews electoral magnet, where even Barack employed this effectively against Hillary during the primary, where Indiana University, Bill Clinton was giving one of his finger-wagging speeches, trying to encourage young people to vote for Hillary in the primary, and Barack did something masterfully. His team went and started handing out free Dave Matthews tickets during the speech. The crowd just completely evaporated. Heading over to the Dave Matthews speech, texting their friends like, "Hey, Barack's handing out tickets for Dave Matthews," and they had thousands of young people that just organized just like that. And,
pretty smart. It sounds like what you're saying is that your generation are stupid.
I think many of them are. Well, it depends. They're certainly ignorant in, I think, a lot of American history. They don't understand the Constitution. But
absolutely. I mean, that stuff all got stripped out of our textbooks in the 1980s because it was socialist, you know.
It definitely got stripped out. But there
was a major campaign. I was alive. I had kids in high school at the time. I remember it well. I lived in New Gingrich District when it happened. And it was, it was like, we got socialist teachers teaching the socialist history, the socialist movements, and we can't have this. Here's a question for you, Jason.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you willing to sign the pledge to take no socialist government-mandated crap from this government? For example, are you willing to say that you will never, ever take police, fire, or emergency services?
Well, I think that's certainly a disingenuous way of framing it. No one is against police or fire protection or ambulance service. No, it's not.
They're owned by the government.
Police. No, it's a local government. It's called federalism, where you have designations between local, state, and national government, and there is no.
So you want to stop all federal money from going to supporting police and fire, because they get a large chunk of their money from federal government?
No, they.
Okay, so you distinguish between local socialism and federal socialism.
The government, no, it's not socialism. The government, no one's against government. You're talking.
Okay, so then, are you willing to stop flying on airplanes because the socialist FAA, tells the airplanes where to go?
I think the FAA would be actually run better as a private industry. But you're saying it's like you're saying, I don't know how much money you make, but if you got a Bush tax cut, and I'm guessing you were against the Bush tax cut, so did you give that back to the IRS?
No, I will openly say that on that regard, I'm a hypocrite. I will openly say that. Now, I'm just curious, are you willing to sign the pledge not to use public roads? We actually had a conservative caller in the last hour say, I'm opposed to all this stuff. And I said, are you going to start ignoring those socialist traffic lights? And he's like, yeah.
Can I tell you what I am opposed? No, the conservatives. I think, Tom, you're purposely being disingenuous. Conservatives are.
No, I'm purposely identifying the fact that our society is filled with what you guys call socialism, and the real agenda of the wealthy guys who are funding the think tanks that people like you have bought into, and the ideology, the whole libertarian ideology, are by and large millionaires and billionaires who are playing you guys as useful idiots.
No, that's not true. The useful idiots are the Obama zombies I talk about, who have no idea why they're voting for this man and his policies are a torpedo aimed at their financial futures. But no conservative is against infrastructure for roads. We're talking about huge insolvent government programs. I mean, Medicare, Medicaid, Social
Actually,
Security.
I know a lot of conservatives who think that roads should be privatized.
No, I don't. Not serious ones. I mean, there's no.
Well, they're doing it all over the country. Look at the Chicago Skyway just got privatized. It's now owned by a company in Spain.
But privatizing roads because it's run more efficiently is not a bad idea. But I'm saying there's
right. So let's get rid of the socialist roads.
No, but there's constitutional authority to actually build infrastructure. You don't have campaigns. The campaigns is against creating these more insolvent government programs on top of insolvent government programs. The Tea Party movement is not being led by people fed up with government roads, and I hope you can understand that.
No, I say they're just as hypocritical as I was when I gladly took my Bush tax cut.
They're not hypocritical. Socialism is about with the idea that government spending can create wealth, and having this social justice platform. Roads and infrastructure benefits everyone. Redistribution of wealth does not benefit everyone. You're stealing from one person to give to another.
Well, Jason, we're talking with Jason Mattera, his new book, Obama Zombies, jasonmattera.com, his website. I get it. How, and maybe we have a point of agreement here, I get it how government spending on things that are only intended to be destroyed is wasteful. In other words, if we build a bomb and drop it on somebody, and the bomb cost us, well, the average cruise missile, for example, costs around $918,000. Mm-hmm. So every cruise missile that we lobbed into Afghanistan for low these many years, it's cost us almost $1 million apiece and produces no lasting social good here in the United States. On the other hand, if each $1 million had been used to build a school or a bridge or a hospital, that $1 million would produce $5, $10, $20 million over the 50-year lifespan of that building, right? Are you with me?
No. Well, I'm with you that certainly dropping a bomb is not producing prosperity, but that's not, that's
well, I think if we were defending ourselves, I would not be opposed to that. I'm not opposed to all military spending. I just don't think that in Afghanistan or Iraq we were frankly defending ourselves, but that's a whole other argument. My point is that this here you've got the U.S. military that has lost. They can't account for it. $2 trillion.
That's a problem. I mean,
why are the Tea Party people not outraged about this? $2 trillion is a mind buy. That's $2,000 billion.
It's here is why, because while we should be concerned about wasteful spending everywhere, military included, the military is not taking away our freedoms as would happen.
Oh, they absolutely are, Jason. The military is the biggest socialist institution in the United States. They own the food supply there. They provide free food. They provide free health care. They provide free education. They provide free housing. The military is a socialist institution. It's the prototype socialist institution.
Let me ask you that.
Got 30 seconds, Jason.
What freedom has the military stripped from you? It's protecting your freedom. Obamacare is actually telling you have to fit into a certain health care plan. It's a direct violation.
In my worldview, Jason, just for what it's worth, a strong social safety net that includes things like unemployment insurance and health care actually makes it easier for people to become entrepreneurs, start their own businesses, and build a vibrant economy. And that's been the history of every nation in the world except the United States.
And that's why the United States has been the greatest nation in the world.
That's why, according to Forbes magazine, in the last 30 years, we've slipped from being number 1 in the world in innovation to number 12. Yes. Jason Mattera, JasonMattera.com, the website, the book Obama Zombies. Thanks, Jason.